Hello students, and welcome to this demonstration of how to use your TI-84 graphing calculator to graph a system of equations. Now, this is going to be very similar to our previous systems, except before we were only using linear equations. Now we're going to have a quadratic and a line. So let's talk about which ones we're going to use. So I'm going to use the expressions y is equal to 2x squared minus 3x minus 1. And I'm going to use y is equal to x minus 3. Alright, so those are going to be my two expressions which I'm going to use. Now, I want to put these into my TI-84 calculator. So to do so, I'm going to press the y equals key. So I'm going to press the y equals key and it'll take me to this screen here. So I'll input my first expression, which is 2x squared minus 3x minus 1, and then I want to go to y2 and input my second expression. So that's going to be x minus 3. Alright, so let's go and take a look. Alright, so like we demonstrated on our first page of notes, we see that it looks like these might only intersect in one little place here, right? So let's see if that's true. If I want to calculate the intersections, I might want to zoom in a little bit. So let's do second, oops, nope, you don't need to do second zoom, you just need to press zoom. So let's zoom in. And I want to move my cursor down before I zoom in. So I want to zoom in on this area that seems to be where the intersection might occur. So let's zoom in. Alright, so that gives us a really good clear view of what's going on. So it looks pretty obvious that it's probably intersecting in one place here. It's just, the line is just glancing off of our parabola. But let's find out what the actual intersection is. So if I want to find out the intersection, I can press second, calc. And now that I have come here to calculate, I can scroll down to number 5, or I can just press the number 5, which is intersection. Alright, and now I want to find the intersection of these two lines. So our calculators aren't very smart. So first they're going to ask us a question. They're going to ask us about the first curve, and we're going to just press enter. Then it's going to ask us for the second curve. And you see now my cursor has moved, and now it's tracking on the line. So we're just going to select the line as my second curve. Then it wants me to guess where the intersection is. So we're going to move to where I think it's going to intersect, and we're going to guess. And we see that our intersection here is at 0.999999 and y equals negative 2.0000. When you have a really long decimal like this, whenever you have that many nines or that many zeros, you can approximate this. So this will become approximately 1, and y will become approximately negative 2. So my intersection will occur at 1, negative 2. Alright, so we're going to do one other demonstration real quick with our TI-84. So let's look. Alright, so I've come back to my original screen and I've cleared out my expressions, and I want to actually write in two more new expressions. So I'm going to write the expressions y is equal to negative x squared plus 1, and y is equal to x squared minus 5x minus 2. Alright, so those are going to be my two new expressions. So my first expression was negative, right? Whenever we use the negative, we're actually pressing this little negative instead of the minus, and x squared plus 1. And then we scroll down to our second equation, and we say x squared minus 5x minus 2. And before we go and graph, we're going to go ahead and press zoom because I had previously zoomed in, I want to go and press number 6, which is zoom standard. That'll take me back to my normal level of zoom. Alright, so on our graph here, we can clearly see that it intersects in two distinct places here. So, we're going to learn how to do an intersection of two different points. So let's go ahead and take a look. Well, we're going to do this in the exact same way that we did before. We're going to press second, calc, and we're going to go down to the intersection. So it's going to, again, ask us for our first and second curve, and we're just going to enter, and then it's asking us for the second curve. We only have two curves, so it's not really a big deal. So you press enter again, and now it wants you to guess. Here's the difference between solving for 1 and solving for 2. When you're solving for 2, you actually have to make a guess near where the intersection is, because if you don't, it might gravitate towards the other intersection. So let's make a guess here. Alright, so our first intersection point is going to be x is equal to negative 0.5, or negative 1/2, and my y is going to be positive 0.75, or a positive 3/4. So that's going to be one of my intersection points, is negative 1/2 and 3/4. Now, I'm going to have to go through the process again. So I press second calc, and then I'm going to press 5 for intersection, and it's telling me to guess my curves again. I'm just going to move my cursor over here just for convenience, and we press enter, and it's asking for the second curve. We press enter again, and it wants us to make a guess. Now what's really important is that you guess close to the intersection point that you don't already know. And we see that our second intersection point is going to be 3, 8. So our two intersections were negative 1/2, 3/4, and 3, 8. That concludes this demonstration on how to use the TI-84 to find the solution to a system of either a line and a parabola or two parabolas. If you have any questions, please ask me. Have a wonderful day.